And convicted killer John Henry Ramirez says that he is being denied the right to have his spiritual advisor with him when his sentence is carried out.
Yeah, Ramirez is set to be executed on September 8th for a murder that stunned the city back in 2004. On July 19th of that year, Ramirez, Cristina Chavez, and Angela Rodriguez tried to rob 46-year-old Pablo Castro. The convenience store employee was taking out the trash when Ramirez pulled a knife on him. Castro's throat was slashed and he was stabbed more than a dozen times. Ramirez and his accomplices got away with just $1.25. The two women were arrested that same night. Ramirez went on the run until he was arrested near Brownsville in February 2008. He was convicted of capital murder and sent to death row in 2009. And with his execution date just weeks away, Ramirez is fighting what could be his final legal battle. A lawsuit filed on his behalf says the state is violating his First Amendment right to exercise his religious beliefs in his final moments of his life. Iran Hammy has more.
I was so high on all those drugs and on alcohol, and I got so mad, I guess, so quick, man. And I knew that I had went too far. When I saw him fall down, I saw him bleeding.
That was John Henry Ramirez in 2017, describing the night that landed him on death row. Now he and his attorney allege a Texas state prison intends to violate his First Amendment right of freedom of religion. In a federal lawsuit, his lawyer Seth Kretzer says the Texas Department of Criminal Justice won't allow Ramirez's pastor, Dana Moore, to put his hands on him during the execution, something Kretzer says is an important part of Ramirez's faith.
The prison doctor needs to be touching the person as they're executed, and yet the state of Texas tells us that a spiritual advisor cannot exercise his religion in the same way. It gets even worse because now the prison is telling us that the pastor will not even be allowed to pray out loud.
While that is underway, Kretzer filed a motion to delay Ramirez's execution for what would be the third time. The state has until Monday to file a response.
I would be very interested to see what their reason is, if they can think of one, because, to say the least, this is a mild-mannered pastor in his 60s. He's been vetted by the prison.
Kretzer cites a similar Supreme Court case in 2019. A death row inmate's Buddhist spiritual advisor wasn't allowed in the execution chamber. The case went to the Supreme Court, where they reversed that decision.
This is the front lines. This is trench warfare. This is actual constitutional litigation where we are literally the last line of defense. One, for the person who's on death row, but I would argue more largely to defend the Constitution of the United States.
We reached out to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for comment, and the response back simply said, nope. Reporting in Corpus Christi, Iran Hammy, Chris 6 News.
And listen, as we mentioned earlier, two other people were charged with the murder of Pablo Castro. Cristina Chavez and Angelina Rodriguez both agreed to testify against Ramirez as part of a plea deal. Now, Cristina Chavez pled guilty to aggravated robbery and she was sentenced to 25 years. Meanwhile, Rodriguez pled guilty to capital murder and robbery and she received 2 life sentences.